I moved here approximately 20 years ago, and one of the things that struck me was how much the community and everybody in the community would say, we just like to work together.
Community to me is a sense of belonging and support.
In the United States, 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
We have too many women, young women in our community suffering from breast cancer. This is exactly why the Coffee Regional Medical Center Foundation is raising funds to try to acquire this new technology, 3D mammography.
My mom was Lisa Moore Shariki. She was a native of Coffee County.
I met my wife, Lisa, here, and it was probably the best thing that really did happen to me in my entire life.
I knew Lisa way before we were diagnosed with breast cancer. I knew her when we were very, very young.
She taught school, 3rd grade, for 17 years at Westside Elementary School.
She reached hundreds of kids, but really she reached way beyond that.
She was the sweetest, kindest, most loving person. She actually said that she did exactly what she was put here on this earth to do, what God intended for her to do.
When she was first diagnosed, I took it as it's just breast cancer, it's just a cell, it multiplies, and so why can't we fix that? And as a man, you know, you just look at it and you say, well, it's fixable.
Mama was such a fighter. And from the very beginning, she kept a journal, and every page of that book was, I'm going to beat this. One way or the other, I'm going to beat it. A year later, the cancer was back in the scar tissue. That, a year later, was very devastating to know it's back.
And this time, I took it seriously. It was no longer just a cell that multiplied. It was something that was threatening her life. I went from being a husband to being a caretaker because she was the one that needed to be taken care of.
Until the very end, she wanted to go back to school to teach. She constantly referred to, now whenever I go back to work, she never gave up on that hope. Her journal that she kept, she finally came to the conclusion her healing would be eternal and not here. So even in the very end, she was still optimistic. She never gave up that fighter's spirit.
I was 34 years old when I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was in line at the middle school to pick up my 13-year-old when Dr. Goldberg called, and he said, I hate to have to tell you this on the phone, but you have cancer.
And so I kept waiting for the call to find out, and then when I finally did get the call, they said that, you know, it was cancer.
And if we were fortunate enough to have an early detection because of a new machine, how fortunate can someone else be bringing in the new 3D mammography machine to Coffee Regional?
Everyone's heard that the best protection is early detection, you know, but that is so true when it comes to breast cancer because breast cancer is curable.
2D conventional mammography has been the gold standard for years and years and years.
What it does is it takes an x-ray of all the breast tissue all at once. So therefore, especially in somebody with fibrocystic breasts, there could be a lesion hiding behind the benign fibrocystic tissue, which makes it more difficult to detect.
What 3D mammography does electronically is take or divide the breast into 1 millimeter slices. So if we picture this as a 2D mammogram, as we look at the image, we certainly can understand that there are slices or there are cards below it. But until we fan it out, we don't realize how many, or not able to see the detail in each slice. And in this case, we're able to see the pathology in one single slice. 3D mammography is being adopted in the medical community faster than digital was adopted. The FDA has deemed it to be better.
So it will be good for radiologists. They would like to read it instead of reading 2D, and you can find the abnormality easier.
Hopefully what we can do with digital tomosynthesis is find that cancer, find it sooner, and find it smaller.
What isn't clear is that had he had that kind of equipment, would he have detected this 6 months earlier?
Early detection would have been key.
Going forward, there's this new technology where we may be able to prevent a situation like Lisa's. So I think it's important that as a community we rally behind the foundation, which is trying to raise money to purchase the new 3D mammogram unit to benefit all of our families and friends, our daughters, our wives. Everybody down the road will benefit from this.
In healthcare, we have a charitable mission, and we don't always receive 100% of the monies back for the services we provide. Therefore, we're obligated to go out and fundraise and for a project like this that will enhance the well-being of the community.
The Foundation's purpose is to support the hospital. And this 3D mammography unit the Foundation has undertaken will really lead the hospital in the forefront of breast cancer detection.
You know, I work with women every day. I know what it's like to lose someone to breast cancer. And that's why I feel like it's so important that we get behind this. I feel like we all support each other in so much that's just so important to our community as a whole.
If Mama was here, she would be the biggest advocate. She was such a strong supporter of this community. She would definitely be the one to reach out and say, "Are you silly? Go get this done." Anything to keep someone else from having to walk down the path that she walked through.